It's week 12, and we just faced the Bears. And
Da
we
Bears.
kicked our tails. We beat ourselves. They beat us. You name it. It happened. It's a very average football team. And, the fine line between winning and losing, you hear the coaches talk about that all the time. I believe our fine line is more shaded towards the coaching decisions more so than it is the players that we're putting on the field.
Yeah. I want to joke and say, how do you know it's almost December? Because it's still 70 degrees outside. The work is kind of calming down, and the Steelers are on the outside of the playoffs looking in.
Yeah.
It's same thing, different year.
Now, are we tied with Baltimore now, or is
We're
Baltimore?
tied, but they have the head-to-head. They have the tiebreaker because we haven't
Okay,
played
so
them. There's no head-to-head, but yeah, right now they are the 4 seed, I think, and we are not in the playoffs.
wow.
It's okay. 5 weeks ago, we had the North locked up. We were fine. It was completely, we could just coast to, and everyone's saying, "Oh, look, another Mike Tomlin masterclass, another
That's
great
good.
performance." It's just, we're sitting here, and Brad and I have joked that we're gonna make the thumbnail of this of the episode today just the top half of my shirt
Yeah.
because we're just angry. There's no runs. We're just angry, but we're really just numb. And there are a million reasons why today sucked, and we're going to get into some of them. So, Brad, what were your initial thoughts?
Well, I do have to give a little bit of props to Arthur Smith, whoever designed that tush push. What was it, a counter that they ran off of
Yeah,
that?
yep,
That was genius.
yeah,
Philly has never even, to my knowledge anyway, Philly's always just ran the tush push. You know
yeah,
it's coming, and you can't stop it most of the
yep,
time. We create something off of the threat of the tush push, and then it goes for what, 55 yards? I
something
mean,
like that. Yeah.
it, it was this
Well,
far from
and
being a touchdown.
right, but the annoying thing is we ran the tush push earlier, and Connor Hayward was like 3 or 4 yards over the line of scrimmage, and they called him short.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was fourth and like one, right? But I, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like I
but
just,
with the exception of that, I guarantee you that the scuttle around the league amongst coaches and players is, oh, Pittsburgh's coming. That they're playing preseason ball. We got this.
yeah,
Because on defense, we're playing preseason ball. They're
yeah,
just sitting back and letting it come to them, and it's coming to them. That's for
yep.
sure. Or they're selling out for a blitz when they don't need to sell out for a blitz. They need to scheme to get some guys free back there without sending the house.
Yeah, I mean, in preseason coverages, we were in single high safety. We were in cover three most of the game, and that's just you can't. It's not going to work. I mean, against most NFL offenses in general, but especially a Ben Johnson offense, and especially an offense that he has he has like four bona fide targets like every play.
Mm-hmm.
We have half of one, and that's not a knock on DK. DK is definitely a wide receiver one, but it's the same problem we had with Pickens, who, as we're recording this, just helped the Cowboys come back from a 21-0 deficit to beat Philly. It's the same problem. The guy is clearly a wide receiver one, but he can't do it all himself.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I don't think the Steelers strike fear in our opponents. I don't think that anyone sits there and says, "Oh man, we're worried about facing a Mike Tomlin defense." I think the coaches and players all have so much respect for Mike Tomlin and the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of are we scared to play them? No, because we know exactly what they're going to do
Oh,
every time, defensively and offensively.
and did you see any of the post game interviews?
I did not.
Patrick Queen stood in the locker room and admitted it's the schematics, a lot of schematic issues on the field for them on defense. And
That's
he's
great.
talking about guys. It's tough to understand exactly what he's talking about some of the time,
Right.
but he's like, "There's two of us, and we got to cover all these flats plus cover." He's like, "We just can't." He's like, "We can't do everything."
Yeah. Yeah. But he can say it all he wants, but he said it before and nothing changes.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I know. It's just, I mean, there's players coming out and speaking out like that. If it starts happening more, the locker rooms might, get a little unsettled. around
Yeah,
this.
I'd be surprised because I do think, I mean, I think with like Cam and we have good vets. I don't think we're gonna have a mutiny on our hands, but part of me wishes we would. I mean, I don't know what we're supposed to do. We being the formative we as the Steelers. Again, if we're saying, I feel like every time we've lost this year, someone has said, "Yeah, we got to communicate better," or "Yeah, we got to be make sure we're in the right position," or "Yeah, we're." It's like, and then they do it. They do it for one game, and then they switch off of it.
Yeah.
Like the stat I mentioned last week, we ran a season high, definitely, but pretty high percentage of cover two, and it worked. It shut down the Bengals offense. So why did we switch away from that?
Hmm.
I The run game was working, and Mason Rudolph didn't have a single throw over the middle of the field. So that is how you win games. It's just like it's so frustrating to be a fan of these teams when you're like, I feel like I could scheme a better game. I do think Arthur Smith, and I was talking with my dad about this. I do think Arthur Smith is a good offensive coordinator, and I give him credit for what he's doing with what he has.
Yeah.
This is an offense built to run like it's 1959 and the forward pass was invented 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like that's really what it feels like. We're gonna screen and we're gonna dink and dunk it all the way down the field, and that's gonna work in the first two quarters. And then once the safeties realize, oh, I don't have to sit back because I know you're running or you're running a screenplay.
Mm.
I can just come up and I can sit in the box every time. So I commend Arthur Smith for still scheming, whether it be Jalen on an inside run or Gainwell on a screen or somehow getting some of the tight ends involved. Again, all the Bears had injuries everywhere. Shout out to Marco Jackson, App State alum, who wore the green dot for the Bears. That was kind of cool to see. So we don't attack the middle of the field. We don't utilize our tight ends over the middle of the field. I think our tight ends combined had less than like 5 catches.
Oh, wow.
So
Stats.
I'm just sitting here wondering how are these decisions being made, and are they being made because we know that there's no repercussions for them?
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. Speaking of Cam, I read 2 days ago, or it was Friday night or Saturday morning. He's on some kind of committee where you've heard about where the players rate the franchises
Yeah.
every year,
Yep.
how they, how what is good to, and Steelers have been failing it for years,
Yep.
turning D's and F's every single year. There's a pushback from the owners that they don't want that survey put out anymore. And apparently, Art Rooney is one of the big names behind not
Mm.
putting that survey out. And Cam has called him out. He says it sounds like Mr. Rooney's hiding something. He said,
Mm.
and Cam, I mean, I guess maybe it was on his podcast he was asked about,
Yeah.
it, talked about it some or something. I just read an
Yeah.
article about it. So,
Yeah. His podcast is good. I listened to it. He has podcast and Roethlisberger's podcast,
mhm.
obviously. And it's cool to see the insight on that. And yeah, I agree. I mean, call them out. The Roonies are notoriously cheap. So when
They've always traditionally been a franchise players wanted to go to, and things
yes,
kept up for them. And I mean, Heinz Field was like, the greatest thing since sliced bread when it came out. And now it's like,
yeah,
it's been open since 2001, and whatever's, I guess it's the workout facilities and
hmm
the treatment and all that the players need. They just don't have
yeah.
it there for them.
Well, I think that's a really interesting point, and because yeah, I mean the Steelers have this allure behind them, and I think so much of it is because of this is the team in the '70s and the '80s and the not when it's weird to say it, but like when TV was just coming on, the Steelers were always on.
Yeah.
And that's why we have such a broad fan base of people like yourself who I was born in Pittsburgh, you were not. You
Yeah.
just kind of stumble across this team and you're like, wow, these guys are really good.
There's
And then
family on my mom's side's from up there.
yeah, you kind of pick and pull like where your fandom ties down to. And I think the Steelers had that benefit. And I think it's kind of similar. This is going to be a weird parallel, but kind of a similar to like NIL in college football,
Uh-huh.
where you wanted to go to Alabama or you wanted to go to Nebraska or Michigan or Notre Dame because of like the allure of these schools, right?
Yeah.
Well, now these schools are still having to spend top money to maintain not just who they are, but who they want to be. The nicest locker room, the nicest practice facility, the nicest whatever, on top of now paying these guys. And I think you're seeing, I mean, the comparison I'm making here is you're seeing teams like the Cowboys and the Rams and even the Eagles, teams who are investing in not just the performance and talent on the field, but everything off the field as well. And the Steelers do not do that. I think Acrisure is a great stadium. I think it's, unique. It doesn't feel like every other stadium that was
Mhm.
created in that time frame. It has like it's a good stadium.
Yeah.
But you see those report cards and yeah, you see D minus, C minus, D plus on all this stuff. And I think players around the league talk about that.
Hmm.
And it hurts. But that's annoying that Art's trying to shut it down. I saw that the Jets owner was trying to shut it down, which makes sense. But
Yeah, that's not surprising, but to
no,
hear, Art's involved in that, it's like, wow,
yeah,
dude, really?
yeah,
Your dad would get the switch out, man.
yeah. I just well, there's so much we don't know, right? We're not in the front office.
Oh
We
yeah.
uh, we don't know the ins and outs of the organization, but it really just does feel like we don't put in the extra effort to succeed because we know we're going to succeed to a certain level. And like Mike Tomlin right now is the perfect example of that. Mike Tomlin, I know, is probably one of, if not the highest paid coach in the NFL. That's fine.
Yeah.
We also have like the smallest assistant pool. And, we have a small overall staff. If you go to the staff directory on the Steelers, it is minimal compared to some of the NFL franchises. Minimal. So we're not investing in these other areas because we're like, oh, we're just going to pay Mike Tomlin probably $23 million dollars a year. That's just a guess. It's private. We don't know.
Yeah.
And we're going to win 9 games. We're going to be in some primetime games. We're going to sell out every game at Acrisure because we're the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
And, if we want to do an upgrade to the stadium, well, the city's probably going to pay for it because we're the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And that's the way Jerry Jones runs the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And what are we stuck with now? This is unreal.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, just finishing watching the Cowboys game, they were down, and I still felt, I was like, they can come back from this. Like, they can come back from this. Watching the Steelers game, we were down 3. I was like, yeah, this is over. This is over.
It's when you message me, you're like, yes, yep.
Because it feels over.
Oh yeah.
And part of me, like, there's this very small part of me that is thinking Mason was never quarterback one. And this proved that he isn't quarterback one. And
Mhm.
maybe we win this game with Rodgers. But if we start Mason all year, we have a much better chance of being successful in the future versus going 9-8 or 10-7, maybe making the playoffs,
I think our
losing and having
record
the
would
night, yeah,
probably be about the same if Mason had been playing all year.
losing and having the 19th overall pick in the draft and taking a quarterback maybe if one falls or we don't and we just do this again.
Yeah.
I've seen all over Steelers Twitter today. People are saying because it was rumored that I forget if it was this year or during one of the Bears million coach searches that they offered 2 first-round picks for Mike Tomlin, and Steelers said no
Yeah.
because first of all, Mike Tomlin has a no trade clause,
Hmm.
so you can't trade him anywhere. He's not going to go. He's not going to. If he's going to go anywhere, he's going to say, okay, well, fire me, and I'm just going to go there on my own.
Yeah.
But Ben Johnson is so talented. It's just like you felt like they were going to do something crazy every time. I do want to talk about the one highlight on defense, which was TJ Watt.
Yeah.
How amazing that was. We talked about this last week with, I said they signed John Reese Plumlee to the
Uh-huh.
practice squad so they could practice swatting the ball. They got it.
Yeah. It
And
turned
for
into a
TJ to do
score.
that while JJ was calling the game, and that was the sack so TJ is now the all-time leading Watt brother
Uh-huh.
in sacks. And Derek Watt was at the game. And his their parents were there. That was really cool. And the vibes were really high during that point of the game.
Yeah. Everybody was feeling good at that point, and
Yeah.
it's like, well, what happened, fellas?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I saw a clip of Ben's podcast a day or two ago, and he's
Mhm.
like, I'm not in that locker room right now, but he's like, what I'm seeing, there are zero adjustments being made at halftime at any of these games.
Yeah.
And I'm paraphrasing him. He didn't say specifically that, but he did say it does not look like they're making any adjustments whatsoever to try to get their guys in position to exploit something that they saw in the first half and then plug leaks in their own stuff to try to turn it around and win the game. He's like, I'm not seeing adjustments at all.
Yeah. And I think a great counterpoint to that is when the Bears came out in the second half, every single time they touched the ball, they were holding the ball tight
Mm-hmm.
because they were like, we're getting stripped. They're coming after the ball.
Yeah.
And they didn't fumble after that because they were like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let's adjust, let's make the change.
Yeah.
And it felt like we didn't do that. We were just, I mean, Mason's stat line 24 for 31 for 171 yards. Like that's
Throwing a rock 31 times on 171 yards.
yeah.
What is that average? Is that less than 6 yards a pass?
I'm not doing the math, but it's not great.
It's really low.
Right. And I think at one point he had 85 yards. You know, he got some in on that last drive. The clock management on that last drive was peculiar at best. I mean, I you're driving down the field and you're consistently throwing over the middle when you have no timeouts. And I will give him credit. It was working. You know, we were moving,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm like, go faster, go faster.
Yeah.
Why are we not running
Yeah.
to the ball? And then to come off and not even get Boswell on the field to try a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, Mason, who is not small, Mason's I think 6'5",
Yeah.
6'4",
Yeah. He's a big
gets
dude.
two batted passes.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt like the whole fourth quarter felt like a failure. But it's like every loss we have, you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, no, this makes sense. This makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's
Did you see anything that jumped out at you like in a positive way?
Nah, no, not really. I was going to comment in a negative way. Joey Porter intercepting that pass and then running around carrying it like it was a loaf of bread. I mean, just dude,
Right?
you know,
Screaming at him.
he's juking and jiving and got the ball in one. I'm sure I'm proud you can hold a ball with one hand. You're playing football. Tuck that sucker in, man.
Yeah. I think Jalen Ramsey caught him on the walk back and was like, you can't do that. Because I saw Jalen like, chirping at him and Joey's like, because I think Joey saw the flag, so he knew it was like an offside. I'm going to put myself in Joey's shoes here, and I'm not a defensive back in the NFL, so hear me out. Um, he picked it. He saw the flag, so he knew it was most likely a free play. So he picked it
Uh,
off. He's like, I'm just going to do whatever with it, and he probably did not know that if he were to fumble, they can decline the offsides penalty and take the fumble wherever it's recovered. Which
yeah.
is why, usually defenders, when it's a free play, just smack the ball down. It's like, I'm not even going to
Hmm.
worry about it. But I,
It's just another game situation that
yep,
the details and
it details.
these
Well,
guys
and
aren't getting the details from the sideline.
yeah, we're 11 games in and we don't know how to line up offensively. We don't know that we can't leave. I mean, Calvin Austin, dude, you got to step up on the line. You can't leave Fatanu uncovered. Or on the punt that got us the ball back, why the hell did James Pierre flop and cost us a field goal? I don't really understand that rule. If the clock was stopped,
Hmm.
why did we and JJ Watt called it out as well. And they always bring the rules analyst on there for the stupidest thing. And JJ said, "Yeah, can we get some clarification on that?" And it took him like 5 minutes to get someone on there to explain why. And I guess it's just a rule that even if you're under 2 minutes, even if the clock is stopped, if you have an injury, it costs you a timeout.
Oh yeah.
But these are the things that, like, why do we not know this? We have a head coach who's been there for 20 years.
Hmm.
He should know every detail of the rule book.
Oh yeah.
Like, pass interference, it's going to happen. Holding, you can only do so much. But the gamesmanship, the lineups, the schemes, and the weird penalties, why does he not know that?
Yeah. And the clock management.
Yep. That's been an issue for him for 20 years. Like
I
that.
don't know. His clock management is terrible. And I mean, I've got Bill Walsh's book called Finding the Winning Edge that
Yeah.
covers all kinds of game situations. And it's got a great 2 minute clock management thing in there where he's talking about plays you can call, when to use timeouts, when not to,
Hmm.
all sorts of stuff, how to evaluate college players for the draft. And yeah, it's out of print now. I think you can buy it on Amazon. Last I looked for like $450. I would love to just
Oh,
take that book and ship
okay.
it to Pittsburgh. Mike, read this. You need it.
Just ATTN colon Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, Bill Walsh, 3 Super Bowl titles,
Yeah.
Hall of Fame. I mean, dude,
Ever heard of
read
this
this
guy?
book. Yeah.
I top to bottom, it's just disappointing. I'm trying to think of some bright spots. I think the run game was working, at least to an extent.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty.
Jalen was consistent, even though he ended up, well, he's got 3.8 yard average.
Yeah, Gainwell was skewed because he had that one for 55, but they both finished.
You take his one run, and I think his average is probably about the same as Jalen's.
It felt like I felt like for the first 3 quarters we were moving the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
And
You know,
then it stopped.
yeah, it even if we weren't getting 6 or 7 yards on a run, you could see the line was up there.
Hmm.
And same thing on the defense. I'm like, you would see one of their running backs run in, and the line was so stout that he wasn't going anywhere, and we just lost that.
Yep.
And we had 2 turnovers, but it didn't. I don't know if that second turnover was a fumble, was an actual fumble. I think we just got lucky. But
Ugh.
to not do anything, again, it's the same stuff over and over again. Roman Wilson, no catches. They tried once or twice. That first Mason Rudolph throw to DK that was picked off, amazing interception. Give
Mhm.
the flowers where they're due. But
Yeah.
how do you underthrow DK Metcalf?
Yeah. And it was, just heaving it down there right the outset of the game when
Yeah.
you had the safety over the top also.
Yep.
Just wait for a better time to pick your spot right there. I mean, I really, with Mason, there's so much that was, there seemed like there was so much potential there. I feel like the one thing that's holding him back is that friggin' mustache.
I
I
love it.
mean, in my mind, there's only 2 dudes in this world that can rock a mustache properly, and it's Tom
Tom
Selleck
Selleck.
and my high school teacher, Ted Summey. Anybody else, shave the thing off. Mason, get rid of the stash, brother.
That's funny. I think it looks good, but I understand a mustache is hard to pull off, and Tom Selleck is definitely one of the men that can
Yeah.
pull it off.
If you're not Magnum,
That's funny.
get out the razor.
Yeah, I thought watching him, he looked really slow. Obviously Rodgers is older, but even Rodgers' play actions look so much smoother.
Hmm.
His
Yeah.
time getting the ball to the running back felt quicker. Mason looked like he was dragging his feet half
Yeah.
the time, and
It
we
does
know he's
remind me a little bit of Kent Graham back in the early 2000s or late 90s, early
well,
2000s.
and we know he's not a top. We know he's not a real quarterback one. He's probably like quarterback 43, right? Which is like that's fine. He's a backup quarterback, and he's not the reason we lost today. We lost because the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed,
Hmm.
and we lost because of minor things we did. Again, when Mason scrambled for 15, at that point we were on like the 45-yard line with a minute and a half left. It felt like something like we had plenty of time and we were moving the ball.
Yeah.
So we were for a second I was like, oh shoot, we're at least going to get balls in field goal range.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was ugly. I'm worried about injuries. DK got banged up a couple times. That
He did get
ankle,
back in there though,
he
so
did, but adrenaline. It
yeah.
wouldn't surprise me to see him pop up on the injury report and probably miss a week or two. It could have been a high ankle sprain. I couldn't see exactly what happened. He got rolled up on, I know that, but he got banged up. Broderick left. I don't know if you saw that. He
I didn't catch that.
defender came at him and Broderick like grabbed him up here. Broderick is not a small person. The guy
Yeah.
jumped and he immediately like went down and grabbed his arm.
Speaking of jumping, Jalen again
Yeah.
early in the game jumps at the defender like he's going to leap over this cat's head.
Yeah.
Stop!
Hey, he's trying to make it his thing.
Don't leave your feet.
Right.
Throw your shoulder into his sternum and make him think twice before he tackles you next time.
Maybe he's just getting destroyed and he's trying to figure out a way to hurt another part of his body.
Yeah,
that's
I
not
mean,
his chest.
like I don't know what he's thinking or what all these guys with the jumping and leaping.
Yeah.
Quit.
Yeah, and like Jalen, you're not that like light on your feet to do that every time. Once in a while when they're not expecting it, sure, go
Yeah.
for it. but you've
Hmm.
done it, I think, 4 consecutive games now.
Well, it's like the time what was it? Antonio Brown was returning a punt, and the
Yeah.
Browns kicker, and he jumped up and whoop, ah!
Yeah, that was week one. Was that
the,
what
the
was that
Karate Kid move.
was that 2015, I think?
Probably.
I think he broke that guy's jaw too. The punter. I think it was like Kevin Huber or something like that. I think he broke his jaw. That was really AB's coming out party that season.
Man, I was
Um,
laughing so hard.
yeah, so I'm curious about injury report because we got the Bills coming up. And
Ugh.
we are
And they
they're
just,
coming off a long week because they got
uh-huh.
the mini bye. I'm worried about the winning season.
Oh yeah, I don't think we're going to end up with more wins and losses.
Yeah, just looking ahead, and I'm trying to pull up the schedule here. We got, but we have Buffalo, and then we have Miami, and then we have, let's see, Buffalo. Sorry, Buffalo at Baltimore, versus Miami, at Detroit, at Cleveland, and then most likely Sunday Night Football, Ravens home.
Hmm.
I could be convinced we have one win in there,
Yeah.
and it probably wouldn't even be the Browns. The Dolphins, if I had to guess.
This kind of stuff that I feel like we need to have a losing season, not like we just barely missed the playoffs. There's something bad's got to happen season long for ownership to wake up and say, okay, we got to make some changes here. And
Yeah.
I'm not going down the Fire Tomlin path because maybe that doesn't happen because of the stability and all that, but something has got to change.
Yeah.
And the only way those changes are going to be made is if they get a splash of water in the face.
Yeah, I just don't see that. I really think we could lose out and nothing would change. I mean, we'll probably fire Terrell Austin, and that's great. Like we need change. We need innovation. We need aggressiveness. I'd rather get burnt than
Yeah.
just, be a walking pillow.
Yeah. Oh, they asked Patrick Queen too. They're like, did the Bears do anything that surprised you out there today? And they're like, no, we expected to see all that. Expected to see all of it. Couldn't stop it.
Yep. Yeah, and if your scheme is consistently having you out of plays, what are you supposed to do as a player?
Yeah.
We have the talent. Peyton Wilson's on pace to break the Steelers single season all time tackle record. That's crazy. Like clearly we have the talent. Why are they not in the right position? And again, it's a game of inches on Caleb Williams' touchdown throws. The ball's that much over Steelers defender's hand.
Yeah.
Like they're close, and I get that they're close, but you could say the same thing about us on the other side. I'm
Hmm.
with you. Things got to change. I don't care if we sneak into the wild card. We said it in August. This is not a Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
We said maybe sneak into the wild card, but the question now is the same as the question then. Why?
Yeah.
What are we
Doesn't
doing
look
this
like a
for?
team that's doing things that are helping themselves to get better.
Right.
It's just rerun after rerun after rerun.
Yeah. It's not like it's college football where we can say, "Hey, we had a great year last year. Come play for us."
Yeah.
It's not how that works. You got to draft the talent, and you can plug a lot of other things. You can't plug a quarterback.
No.
You got to draft a quarterback.
Because when these other teams get their QBs, they don't let go of them.
Right. And yeah, you might get in a situation where the guy is not elite, but it's your job as an organization to make that player elite or at least put him in the right positions to make him elite. I get into this conversation with my cousin all the time about Kenny Pickett. No, I don't think Kenny Pickett was the savior of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he has a lot of attitude issues, but I also think the Steelers failed him. They didn't
Oh
give him
yeah.
a quarterback coach. They didn't, give him a proper offensive coordinator. And again, this goes back to the Rooney family being a little cheap. Like, why are we not at what they should have 14 people in their ears? Not in their ear, but like, helping them.
Well, yeah, and he got thrown out into the wolves way too soon. I mean, I'm a big proponent. These rookies make them sit the entire first season. I mean, no matter what, just keep them on their tail. I mean, you're going to have some anomalies out there like Ben. And what Joe Burrow, he started
Yeah.
from the get-go. I mean, there are some like that, but by and large, those guys need to ride the bench for one season at least to
Yeah.
take everything in before you put them out there. Oh, camera got fuzzy.
I think it's just because of nature of the job, you're not unless you're a coach that's so secure in his job, like a Mike Tomlin, ironically,
Hmm.
you're not guaranteed the development cycle of that quarterback, so you got to get him in there. I mean, look at the Giants with Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart probably didn't need to be starting yet,
Yeah.
but Brian Dable's like, shit, I got to save my job. And he put
Hmm.
Dart in there, and Dart played pretty well, and they had a good couple weeks, and then, Dart got injured, and things kind of backfired, and then Dable got fired. And I think that it teams are so desperate to find a quarterback that they're willing to burn through whatever they need to in hopes that they find one.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily agree that they need to sit for a whole year. Like in an ideal world, yes.
Hmm.
But I think sit for a couple of weeks, absolutely. And I think, off the top of my head, most of the successful quarterbacks in the league now sat for at least a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it saved Aaron Rodgers' career. So,
Yeah.
because he slid in the same draft him and Alex Smith came out, and everybody was projecting them to be 1 and 2.
Yep.
And Alex got drafted number 1 to the Niners. And then Rodgers sat until like the 24th pick of the first round. I mean, you could see the frustration on his face sitting in that green room. And
Yep.
when Green Bay picked him, I was like, Alex is going to get thrown to the wolves of San Francisco because they're trying to
Yep.
rebuild this team. Aaron's going to sit behind Brett Favre for probably 2 or 3 years. And he ended up sitting for 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
before he got the starting job. And when he did, I mean, he was ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Alex Smith, I mean, he bounced all over the place before he ever got really any stability with Kansas City for a few seasons before Mahomes took over.
Yeah, so I remember, yeah, Alex Smith was first overall, and he just went through coach after coach after coach after coach. They had no stability, and then Andy Reid took over in Kansas City, traded for Alex Smith. They made it to the AFC divisional or championship game with Alex Smith, and then they drafted Mahomes, and
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes sat every game except for the final week of the season, which he played, and then they let Alex Smith walk. He went to Washington, and Mahomes took over,
Yeah,
and it worked. And but again, Andy Reid had that stability where he knew he could do that.
yeah.
So I wonder if we're sticking with Mike Tomlin, which we probably are, then yeah, draft a guy. I don't like I'm at the point I'm like, I don't care if you got to trade up and get someone. If you really believe that's your guy,
I think that's their plan either this offseason or the next offseason is to use some draft capital to move
but
up, go after somebody. Don't know who, but
there's a handful of guys out there, and we can probably do an episode, off season,
oh yeah, we'll
uh,
do a lot of free
about
agency and
yeah, just who. There's a
draft.
couple guys out there. I think Fernando Mendoza is the belle of the ball right now, quarterback from Indiana.
Hmm.
He's got a shot at the Heisman. Dante Moore out of Oregon. He'll probably go back to school, but the Steelers have sent a couple scouts to him. Cade Klubnik at Clemson. John Mateer at Oklahoma. I mentioned earlier in the season he hurt his hand. He's been out. I don't think Arch Manning is coming out, but he's gotten a lot better than he started. And I know the Manning family wants him to go to a stable organization. So I do wonder if there'd be a situation where, like, I mean, it'd be a backdoor deal essentially. They're like, hey, if you take him at 20 whatever, he'll come out. But if not, he's not coming out.
Yeah.
So but we gotta get something. I don't want Rodgers next year. He hasn't been the
No.
issue this year, but we're not winning anything with him.
Yeah. I mean,
And
he's done. I mean, that's
yeah, I'm terrified we're going to sign Joe Flacco or we're going to sign Jacoby Brissett or we're going to, sign Kirk Cousins or just continue to band-aid this issue. And the reasoning will be Mike Tomlin. I can see him at the podium now. Oh, so-and-so is a proven winner. He knows what it takes in this league. He knows the ins and outs. He knows how the grapes are smashed. He know how, whatever. Like
yeah,
I can just see it. And
yeah.
we'll
We
come out and we'll
that.
win three or four games and the media's like, "Oh, Mike Tomlin's a genius."
Yeah.
And then here we'll be in November 2026. Same thing.
Yeah. Mhm. Not good, man. Not good.
Yeah. Well, this has been a more emotional episode just because we are right off the cuff. Usually we record Tuesday or
We're
Wednesday
angry.
nights. We're angry, but we're Sunday nighting it right now. So wrapping up, moving forward, we got the Bills next week.
They're a little raw after that Houston game.
They are.
I would
You could,
say, hey, Houston's pass rush got to Josh Allen with no
yep.
problem. And I was watching I didn't watch much of that game, but like the last 3 minutes of it, and they converted that big fourth down, like
Yeah.
fourth and 27.
Yep.
I was like, if I'm on Houston and we sack him 7 or 8 times and this perform and still lose this game,
Yeah.
oh my God, I would be livid.
Yeah.
But I mean, they pulled it off, but holy
They
cow,
did.
that was a
That
perfect play for Buffalo to call at that time.
Yeah, it was perfect. And I actually saw, I was rewatching it. I think the call was actually for Josh Allen to run up and potentially be a receiver as well. Because if you see him, once he makes that throw, he takes off. He
Oh,
runs right up
really?
the line of scrimmage. So I wonder if the play call was like, hey, if you need to lateral it back, I'm there.
Hook
But
and ladder.
yeah, but it worked out. No, I'm with you. If we're gonna win, it's because the defense is gonna have to do something. They finished today with one pressure and one sack.
Yeah.
So not gonna cut it. Not gonna do it. But yeah. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah. Buffalo 35-19. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a pretty game.
Yeah. I'll go Buffalo. Go 28-10
There you go.
Buffalo, which means we're gonna win.
There you go. Mason, shave that stash and I'll have more hope.
Rodgers will be back next week. I think it's all pretty confirmed. We're fighting for the spot. But all right, so that's been another episode of The Steel Deal.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening. It's cool to see that subscriber base going. Again, we're on YouTube, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify. When you look us up or you're telling your friends to look us up, make sure you look for our logo and not the U.S. trade deal, because that does keep popping up when I look up The Steel Deal. Yes.
Oh,
So
no.
we are not discussing global politics on this podcast, but so yeah. All right. Well, until next week, thank you all for watching or listening, and we'll see you next time.
Later on.